My name is Mphathesithe Mkhize. As you know, you will aware, South Africa is ranked number 7 at the global level in terms of coal consumption. So as a result, it then becomes one of the countries that contribute into climate change. Here I'm having Mr. Hemson, who is my guest speaker for the day. Mr. Hemson has led the Durban Innovative Leadership Program, which develops students at DUT and community activists as leaders. As an environmental activist, he heads up the Friends of Pigeon Valley, a reserve in Durban that promotes the environmental well-being of the surrounding area. Welcome, Mr. Hemson, to the interview. I'm looking forward to explore very interesting aspects of good motives that can help for us to enhance the effort towards addressing zero net emissions, not only necessarily only in South Africa, but at the globe in general. My first question that I would like us to explore is, what is the status of coal emissions in South Africa in your understanding?
We are one of the world's greatest polluters because of our reliance on coal. But we unfortunately damage above our weight in economic terms. We come from a background of insufficient energy for our economic needs, and that has led to a lurch into greater expansion of coal. The problem has been both economic and environmental. One key problem is that the coal-fired power stations have been remarkably expensive and have not given us the energy we need, which in turn has pushed people to say, we need to have more of them. So for us, this is a big problem. There is an awareness of it. There's meant to be a transition to a renewable future. And so far, we are not making fast progress on it.
I'm very interested into my second question to specifically understand, the extent to which how then this contribute into climate change in specific, especially in South Africa.
The impacts of climate change are obvious. I mean, there's great concern over the very, very persistent drought in areas like the Karoo to the west. In the Western Cape, wildfires have become much more frequent. So these are the sort of the damages we are seeing. Here on the eastern coast, we have probably had less of an impact in terms of temperature. And in fact, one day last year was actually the coldest day I have known here at all. But that seems to be related also to climate change in the sense that that was a very, very extreme phenomenon, short-lived but very extreme. And these patterns of extreme weather events seem to be connected to climate change.
What progress do you believe that government has made in relation to zero net emissions?
It's patchy. There was one decisive change last year to allow the rapid expansion of private production of independent power producers. It's understood now that renewables are going to be not just cheaper, but progressively much cheaper. There is a kind of revolution taking place now. We also are trapped in a situation in terms of transport. We have not developed the critical mass at which we could switch from vehicles fueled by fossil fuels to vehicles fueled by electricity. There's also the issue of corruption. You can't divorce the issues of energy production from the issues of corruption. When your energy producer, Eskom, the energy producer, has wasted many, many billions of rand because of political connections. I mean, that kind of thing is disastrous for us. In fact, while we have coal, we should be producing it as efficiently as possible so that we get the maximum energy out of it and don't burn more than we need to. I mean, that's a rather obvious statement. We are getting there. One concern at the moment is this, that the Minister of Energy is wedded to a particular idea about a transition involving huge consumption of gas, which we do not, of course, produce. And people are fighting that issue. That would be both expensive, environmentally damaging, and that's an issue we're still going to have to struggle over.
My last question is just to check from you, what are the alternative strategies that you think government should reconsider?
There is that capacity for developing new technologies which make use of the existing expertise. And I think this is an area that hasn't been sufficiently explored. I think it requires a much higher level of public engagement, public education about these issues. Otherwise, people just do, what they do. We don't have the kind of wealth where you could say we're going to be absolutely, zero emission now. We have to make compromises, but there are much better compromises than others.
My conclusion will be to say South Africa is a country, we need a serious action for a just transition. South Africa's efforts to this issue are essential because the country has the largest share of coal production, as I already have indicated, which leads to climate change. So if we are serious about making a positive contribution to climate change, as well as mitigation or a just transition, we must take a very different way of doing things towards meeting a zero net. Thank you, Mr. Hemson, for participation. As you will know, my name is Mphathesithe. At the same time, I add my voice to the voices of Zero Net International Youth peers to monitor the action of our world leaders to achieve zero net.